The broadcast is live.
And so are we. Who
Yes,
are
the
you?
first time in weeks and weeks and weeks. John Coder Ice Lawson, the bold one, the cold one. Mm,
What are you drinking?
margarita.
Oh, okay. I'm Brent Leary.
Worthless.
Look at that image, folks. Look at that quality. And then there's, I mean, look at this. Let's do a
I
contrast.
know, look at that. Look at
Oh my,
that.
yeah, get the dandruff off.
That's not dandruff. I literally just got done like making like 25 meatballs in my hands. And I think I
What
put
is
my
that?
hands on my shirt.
The July 4th meal is a bunch of meatballs.
Yep. Well, I don't know if it's July 4th. I just wanted meatballs today. So I made some giant meatballs. So we'll see how these will come out. It'll be interesting.
Well, I'm
They're
glad that
big.
you're waiting to eat them after the show because I don't want to. Yeah.
They're cooking during the show. And
Oh,
then I
okay.
will eat after the show.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah.
we're back, folks, and let me share something that I was greeted by on Facebook this very morning.
Ooh. Wow. It's
9 years.
amazing how I have not aged at all.
My beard has gotten a tad grayer.
Tag grayer. Okay, Santa.
9 years, although it says I don't see. This is a little weird.
Uh,
It says this was, I guess the picture was posted 9 years ago, but look at the date.
that's 10 years
Yeah,
ago.
10 years ago. Ice, what is that? The Ice Retailer?
Ice
This
Retailer.
was your event, wasn't it?
It was my event. Gosh. 10 years ago.
10 years.
Wow, that's crazy, bro.
And that was that wasn't the first appearance of the original Kings of Technology, was it?
I want to say that is.
Are you
Now,
sure?
now that you mention it, I think that is. Yeah,
Ugh.
I think that is because, like, right after that is where we had like our meeting and here's what we're going to do. Then, well, you know what?
I
Maybe
think this was after that.
you
I
think,
think South by Southwest was March of 2013, wasn't it?
okay, so you think we went to South by first
I think so because this
and
is
then
this
came
is
here.
yeah,
Okay,
this is
that's a
September.
possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you
So
know.
this would be maybe the last appearance
That
of the
might be.
original Kings of Technology. We didn't last
Well,
very long, did
yeah,
we?
we did, we had one season only,
One season. It's like two episodes.
2 episodes. Yes, you know,
They were
no,
good
it was,
episodes, though. They were good
yeah,
episodes.
we had fun. We had fun. I mean, gosh, that's crazy. 10 years ago. It's funny. I saw Ramon last weekend, and I told him, I said, "Bro, we've known each other for over 10 years now." And we just kind of freaked out. It's like, wow, that's been a long time.
I've known him for longer than that. I've known him since I think 2008, 2007, 2008. I don't know, something like that. That's a long time.
It's a
Damn.
long time,
We're
bro.
talking 15, 16 years.
Yeah. It's weird how time is very strange. Time is very
Time.
strange.
Yeah.
Looking forward, it looks like you've got so much time. And then looking back, it's like, where did it all go? So,
Yeah. Well, we don't have enough time to go over your history because it's so long. But one of the things I was
and
thinking
amazing.
about, one of the things
Yeah.
I've been thinking about, because especially jogged by that picture, that image, because of the event, our events. We're 6 months into 2023. I've been to about 6, 7 events. Live events are back. They're like
Bigger than ever.
I don't know if they're bigger than ever, but they're
Well,
definitely back.
I mean, ones I've been to have just been huge. They're just
We-
growing massively.
Yeah.
I
Which
mean, and I mean, we did the events also, through the pandemic. So I think that's part of it.
yeah, but you know what? So here's the thing. This is just something that's on my mind, and kind of jogged by you because you wasn't it just last week you were at the Mind Meld conference, whatever you call it.
TSP Live 2023, the biggest, the baddest ever.
Biggest and baddest ever.
It really was.
And you were showing, you were at least posting on your Facebook page lots of images, lots of video, lots of pictures. You with Issa Rae, her looking like, who is this Negro, while you're smiling as
that's
wide as you
okay.
can.
Man, she was just she was so beautiful. I mean, just a vision in that white, and her face was beat, her hair, every piece of it play. You know, it was just amazing. You know, when you have a glam squad and how they put you on, and then you go out.
Oh, so why you just blasting her? So what you're saying is she isn't beautiful without the glam squad? Is that what you
mean, hey, bro, this is 2023, brother. Everybody got glam squads. People in the audience.
Well, where's yours? Where the hell is yours?
I don't need one, bro.
Oh, I beg to differ.
I don't need one. I don't need any glam. I'm good just the way I am. Take me as I am.
All right.
Jacinto, DJ. What's up? DJ Cinto in the house. Thank you, brother. You did a phenomenal job. You know, I told him just before he went on, I'm like, man, play what you want. Shoot.
What'd he play?
He found a Jay-Z Prince mix-up, and it started with Jay, ended with Prince, and then on the way out, on the way out, he plays Adore. That was cool.
Really?
Yes, it was so cool. I'm walking off stage while everybody's clapping and everything and standing and cheering and giving me all the love.
And hurling and throwing up and, you know.
But he played Adore, so it was really cool.
No, you know what he did? He played Adore because that's what people were looking for, the damn door. After hearing you. They're like, where the hell's the door? He thought they were screaming to hear a door. No, they were looking for the door.
Can anybody find the door?
He should have played the main. He should have played main source, looking for the front door.
You're stupid.
No, I have never met DJ Jacinto, but
yeah, you don't need to.
I feel like
I don't want none of your DJ skills rubbing off on him.
Oh, get the hell out of here! I'm gonna show you the front door in a moment.
Yes, we got to get y'all together.
You know what? I'm really fascinated by this. Oh, see, Jacinto, don't let the big guy fool you. No, I know my stuff here. Just saying.
You just can't play it together.
Oh, get the hell out of here. And as you start to pixelate, as you say stuff like that, you're pixelating. That's all I gotta say.
I don't know what's up with my internet. It's driving me crazy.
You see, don't get the gods mad at you. You know.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, no. I was fascinated by some of the pictures, some of the video that was coming out of the conference, because I've been to about 6 or 7 conferences this year. Ain't none of them like that.
Well, yeah, really, honestly, bro, that's the truth.
But for good, bad, the other. I'm just saying that wasn't like that. So I'm asking. We're fully past the COVID stuff now. We're in the post-COVID era. Events are going on left and right, but the events that I've gone to felt, I'm just making a general statement because some of them were really, good and didn't have this particular feel I'm about to say. A number of the events that I went to, I felt like I was in a time warp. Like, live events ended in 2019, couldn't do many in 2021, started coming back last year, but they're fully back. But it just feels like, for the majority of the ones I've been to, kind of felt like they were dusting off the playbook. I said this yesterday on the show, dusting off the 2019 event playbook and using it in 2023 without taking into consideration all that had happened in the 4 years. All the virtual stuff, all the ways that we started changing our behaviors and our expectations for events. We're not taken into consideration. They just dusted off the 2019 book
Mm.
and put it into play in 2023. But it feels like what you described and the pictures I saw, it didn't feel like that was the case. So let me ask you, was it a different experience at that event previous to what it was? I don't know if you even went to the ones before COVID.
Yeah. The first one I went to was 2020, right? In
Okay.
October 2020.
Well, that was like
So,
mid
exactly.
thing, right?
Exactly. So, and then the one before that, the same year, was a virtual one. The virtual, it was pretty tight, for a virtual event, you know. But I didn't go to any of the live events in 2019 or before that.
Okay.
So, but the one thing I will say about, TSP is that even though they've been doing it before, they really grew the vision of what this event would be, can be, and how it would run through, the leadership of, Lamar and Ronnie and the team over there at TSP. And it's amazing the amount of growth that I've just seen in the last 3 years, because we went to a new venue. And I remember when he said we were going to this new venue, it's going to hold, we were downtown first, right? And that place used to hold like 800 people. He's like, we're going to push it. We're going to go to a new venue. It holds 1,100 people, And this year he let us know, it's like, look, we sold out. It's too small. So this time next year, we're moving to another location. So what that is feeling like is that, they really grew this event. They grew they're not, it definitely is not feeling like they just dusted off a 2019 playbook. They've been very consistent in growing the experience and really niching out the event for its attendees for real.
Now,
for real.
You speak at a lot of events. You go to a lot of events.
Yeah.
How many events have you gone to outside of that one so far this year?
This year,
yeah,
maybe 2 or 3. I
All
can't
right.
remember. And then I'm getting ready to do like 3 this month, so that will give me an idea.
So all right. So for the other 2, besides the Mind Mill, the other 2.
Oh wow.
What were they like? I mean, did you feel like they had incorporated the 4 years of what we went through?
No.
Oh, so it was like a step back into the past?
You know what? To be honest, it's really hard. You know how you have, you've been served like caviar, and then somebody wants to give you a salmon cake, and it's like, oh, it's all fish. That's kind of the feeling I get a little bit, And the other feeling I get is this one's very niched out to a specific crowd, Black business owners, and it has the culture that comes with it. Because, somebody asked me one time, well, what's only for Black people? I'm like, no, yeah, you have to understand, Black is a culture also. That's the culture we come from. And so when we have the music and the way we do the opening and, the artists that we have performing at the end, all of that is a cultural experience that is ingrained into it. Speaking of which, I was talking to a conference organizer, and he's like, what are some of the things that you're seeing that are, because they really want to do something, elevated. And I'm like, man, you got to have a DJ. But then I'm sitting there and I'm like, but the DJ probably won't work because I've seen DJs at other conferences, right? But it ain't the same because they don't have the cultural thing going on.
Well, that's interesting because for the most part, I think at the events that I've gone to, there has been a DJ. Now, I think what you're getting at, it's a different feel. Like the DJs at the events that I've gone to. Hey, Thomas, good to see you. Looks like the event data. Well, yeah. Well, it started yesterday, but it's carrying over to today because I'm fascinated. And I think one of the things you just touched on, this DJ thing, DJ DeCento, I think, or DJ
Jacinto.
Cint, is it Cinto?
Cinto, yeah.
I know his full name is just Cinto, but it's DJ Cinto. Okay. It feels like, and he's putting it on right here. A conference DJ is totally different. You are so right. That's what I was getting at. I've been to all these events, the 6 or 7, and these are kind of traditional enterprise software vendor events. They're huge events.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're thousands of people at a time.
Productions.
Yeah, big productions. The DJs that they typically have at those kind of events are not the DJs that I perceive DJ Cinto to be.
Okay, here's something I schooled when I was watching Cinto though. Like the music he plays on like each day, you're talking about he's probably playing, he actually plays 4 days in a row. Okay.
Oh.
And the music in the morning, because you figure like you're getting in there at 7:30, 8 a.m. in the morning. It's a straight up party, right? But here's something I really peeped out from him is he'll do a set that is dedicated to a specific music genre, right? So even though everybody ain't into house music, but he'll have a house music set one morning. He'll have a reggae set with the African music another time. He'll have, a old school 80s set, an R&B 90s set, and he'll put those all together. And it really just, I found it very fascinating how he would put together these set lists, and just throughout the event, I don't know, it was really, really good. And I think, the problem I have sometimes when I'm with these other conference DJs, they're just playing songs. I don't think they really think totally through how to put people in a mood to get ready for the speakers and the day that they're about to experience.
But once again, I think the other key that you mentioned is the audience at the Mind Meld conference. Those folks, because I mean, look, not only did you have DJ Cinto, but Slick Rick was doing Lottie Dottie in 2023. I found that amazing. And everybody was right there. The little clips I saw were right. I mean, this Negro was about what, 60 years old at this point?
He is exactly 60. He said, I'm how old? 60. I'm like, wow. No, he said 58. He said 58. 58? Because I was like, oh, we're the same age. Yeah, so he's same age as us, But yeah, that's
and had some dude beatboxing who was not Dougie Fresh. I don't know
not even close. Not even close. They could have used the track. I'm just saying.
And some of the words in Lottie Dottie, if I recall correctly,
he cut them out.
All right, because that's what I was asking.
Literally, he stopped at one point and then he picked it up at another point. So he just removed that.
Right, yeah, of course. Now, what DJ Cinto, right? So what DJ Cinto was doing was creating a party atmosphere with his, whereas at the more corporate events, Bone Crusher. Who the heck is Bone Crusher?
Oh my God, Bone Crusher. Well, no, you don't. You probably don't.
I know Bone Crusher Smith, but anyway.
No, you don't know Bone Crusher. You're a little too old. And
I'm a little too old.
Yeah. And because you don't listen to current, and that's not even that current.
Yeah,
you don't like that South music. So.
Oh, what that trap stuff?
I'm not definitely a trap.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I like that chanting sound. That doesn't really do it for me. But that's all right.
But if I played it for you, you'd know it.
I probably would.
Never scared. I ain't never scared. What? I ain't never scared.
God,
what?
Yeah.
You know the song. So everybody knows
that chanting stuff, I just can't get with it.
But you know it.
I've heard of it. Yes.
There you go.
Never played it, but yes, I've heard it. I think the root of this is you got Slick Rick, you got DJ Cinto creating a party environment. It's almost like you show up to a party and you get a conference. That's what that is. Whereas at the things that I typically attend, you show up to a conference and he humor you with a DJ. Like,
Yes, yes. That's an
totally different.
afterthought almost.
Yeah, it's a different vibe. I get it, but it feels like the post-COVID era tends to go towards the Mind Meld conference approach, because people almost feel like, I want to be informed, but I also want to be entertained. I want to
Yes.
have a environment where I'm networking, I'm collaborating
Yes.
and communicating with the other. It's not just the people on the stage that are really
Right.
important, it's the people
People in
that
the
are
room.
in the room.
Yes.
And it feels like that the Mind Meld conference, I just called that because I really don't know what the real name of it is. The Mind
You
Meld
do know the name. I say it every time.
the Mind Meld conference
TSP Live.
leaves people, and this is one of the things I get from Paul Greenberg. You may not remember an exact fact that comes out of a conference, but 10 years later, you will remember the way the conference made you feel.
Yeah,
if it's a
it's
good
about a
conference.
feeling. Absolutely.
And that DJ Cento, Slick Rick the Ruler, that kind of environment setting will have people that attended this sucker talking about it for years to come. Whereas I've already forgotten most of the stuff that went on at some of the more traditional events. That's kind of what and it feels like to me, I don't want to go back to that. I want to go forward to DJ Cento.
Yeah, yeah. And that vibe of having an experience, really not being so focused totally on stage, but also an audience, the people you network with. I mean, there's certain conferences I won't even go to the conference anymore. I'll speak. I'll get down there for the speaking part and then sit in the bar the rest of the time and see who I can talk to, because that's the most important part. I'm sure you feel that way a lot of times too, although you're working, because, you come to the conference to cover the conference a lot of times and stuff. But yeah, I know you're not sitting there just totally enamored. I've been with you at conferences where you're like, oh God, do I have to get up this morning?
Well, it's let's face it. I'm not a natural conference goer, but then again, I'm not a natural networker either.
Yeah.
Let's see what DJ Cento says. Also, the songs I play assist with the reinforcement of the point. All right, give me an example of how DJ Cento, because you're doing AI boss, right? This is the AI boss thing, right?
Not for me.
No, but I want an example of how. And I'm serious. This because I think this is kind of interesting. How was that an example of that? Like, you were saying something about AI, and how did Cento do something or play something that literally reinforced or was a part of that message? Because I would find that fascinating. I would find that would make a conference more interesting if the entertainment was so ingrained and integrated into the actual speech that he's doing that. Because you know who did a great job with that? What was that DJ back? Oh man, Kid Capri. He was really good at doing that kind of thing
on the comedy
matter of fact,
show.
You remember the greatest example of that was Bernie Mac. Remember you don't understand. I ain't scared of you. And what it was said was, after he got going, as he started getting into it, Capri would start feeding in. Bernie wasn't expecting that, but because he was picking up on the Bernie's vibe and kind of his flow, Kid Capri started bringing in stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what it sounds like Cento was talking about, which
Absolutely.
I would find fascinating if that was going on.
Oh, yeah. There's so many songs that have a money theme, especially when you're talking about rap songs, Southern rap songs. He'll probably put some out here, but there's so many of them that he'll throw up in there, to get people all about the money. Or when we gave the big check, we always raise money for a charity. And so it had like Black and Missing, right? Which is an organization that helps with missing persons in the Black community. And when they gave the announcement of the amount, it's like, all I do is win, 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 no matter what, and everybody gets into it, or we're on the stage and uh, if you want to get them up and get them really moving, he plays the swag song and everybody jumps up and starts doing the swag. I mean, there's a lot of money cuts that he'll throw in there that you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's a money song. So, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, what's the main reason people go to events today? What, in your opinion, what's the absolute number one reason why people go to an event?
Other than cheat on their spouse? It's like, no.
Wasn't expecting that answer, folks.
There'd be so crazy things going on in these conferences, man. But no, probably I think the biggest thing is really to learn something new, number one, right? And to network. Absolutely. I think that's huge for people. It's
how
networking.
Is it a close 1 and 2, or is it 1 and a distant 2?
I think it is 1 and 2, or 1 or 2. You know what I'm saying? I think there's a lot of people that come and they're really not all that interested in the stage presentations, but they know who might be in the room. So they're there for that. You know what I'm saying? And that is the main thing they're there for. I think people for it, like this kind of conference, I think they come to get inspired. Being in a business as a small business owner, it can be very lonely. And to be in an environment of people that are just like you is something that's amazing, So.
Dennis Kimbrough was there?
He has been, yes.
Made a reference to 1 or 2 short songs. Oh, that's cool.
And he dropped that part of the song.
Let me ask you this: how important is it to the overall success of the event to have that part of it, the kind of the entertainment? How much of the planning takes that into consideration for the overall event? Like, is it part of the initial planning, or is it an afterthought? It's like, all right, now that we got our speaker, what do we do? How do we, make people happy? How critical to the success of a conference in the post-COVID era is the collaborative, the entertainment, the engagement, as opposed to, a lot of times conferences, they think, well, if we get the right people to speak, that's all that matters. Everything else will flow from that. Is it that, or is it, let's think about all this up front? How do we make it all fit? How do we make sure that the folks not only are excited to come, but they're engaged, they're collaborative. They feel like they're a part of the event, not just attending the event. How much of the thought of the conference today is that versus let's just get the best speakers we can and then we'll flow from there?
You know what? Honestly, I think the most important part, everything. I take this with a grain of salt. Not the most, but I think it's one of the biggest part is the host.
Really?
The MC. Absolutely. Because first they set the tone for the day, right? They're the first person coming out. And I can go and be at an event and they've got somebody that's, like the CEO, who's a dry piece of toast, and the entire event, it goes up and down because the toast keeps coming back out, and it's just annoying, right? And it just can't keep the flow. And then if you have a speaker that's on stage that really isn't all that dynamic and exciting, and then you got the toast coming on, it's like running on a treadmill all day. You know what I'm saying? Please turn it off. So that I think is very important, because it's the thing that goes in between the things that keeps the day going, all the way through. You feel me?
Thomas says what matters is being able to speak with relevant vendor. Now, Thomas goes to a lot of the events that I go to, so he's coming around
people in the room.
It's the relevant vendor personnel, analysts, other customers.
Another thing that's important, I think networking is important. So I've been to conferences where they didn't have organized networking, and I think that is that shouldn't be an afterthought. Once you let them out the room, where are they going?
Right.
Right. So organized networking is very important, and that we elevated to a new level at this event because we only had one hotel, and we took the entire hotel this time, which allowed people the freedom to be all over the ground floor, basically. And that I think made a whole lot of difference. They brought in some music into the hotel lobby. Those things made a difference too.
All right.
So people
So
stayed on the property as opposed to dispersing and then never coming back.
what about, do you attend an event with the expectation of leaving with a deal? Is that something, because a lot of people, so, all right, brutally honest here. I really don't like going to stuff unless there's a real purpose for me. I'm not a social butterfly, so I don't go just to network. I like it when I have the ability to, and I think Thomas says it really well here. I want to speak to certain people. I want to have access to certain people. I don't want to have to try to navigate that on my own. I don't, because that to me, that's like, all right, I just want to look, dude. I great talking with you and all, but I really need to get over here. And I'm trying to be as efficient as possible.
Yeah.
And it's not because I'm trying to.
You have a list of people you really want to tap into.
Yeah, well, or exactly. There's folks that I think, either I follow or I've watched, or brutally honest, they're at the right company or they have the right title or whatever. So I'm trying to be as efficient as possible when I go to an event, to be able to have as much time with the folks that I want to, and not have to navigate or I typically do not like the forced engagement stuff. That's just not for me.
What's the forced engagement, like going to the dinner? What do you mean by forced engagement?
Gotta be a bit careful how I say this.
Well, I mean, don't you? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't like.
Look, they know they're bringing you. They know you're gonna do that. That's part of the whole gig. I get that, but I'm saying, is that part of what you don't necessarily
things
prefer?
I don't like the forced engagement stuff. Like, you go to a dinner and they've already strategically sat you where they want you to sit.
Yeah.
Not where I want to sit, or not with who I would like to sit with. And I do get it. I understand it. But from my perspective, I hate that.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things. That's one of the deals, but at the events like what you guys are talking about, that stuff, does that happen? Are they consciously trying to position you to speak to people that they want you to speak with? Or is it a more organic, hey, you sit where you
it's totally
want?
organic.
Okay. That's what I'm trying to get.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, of course, you're talking about a conference that starts day one with just the members, right? And so that day is a networking, get to know, get to feel kind of vibe of the people that are in the organization. And then when you get to the open event, I think the people that are in the mastermind spend time trying to talk to people that they've never met before, because they've had the time that they needed to spend with the people inside the organization. I think that's thinking about that, yes. But we don't have like these, we'll have the VIP dinner. If you're in the mastermind, we'll have a dinner for that. but nah, it's nothing where it's like, here's your seat, sit there, right? We don't have a speaker dinner like, like we do with the Zoho. We have the analyst stuff, you know. So it's a little different. But even at Zoho, I like the fact that they give us the space and the time to pick your own chair, like you're saying, whoever you're going to network with, like we went out to the farm, then that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
They give us these opportunities to be together, but it's not like, it's not organized. That dinner thing can be very uncomfortable sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be. You be sitting there going like, God, do not order dessert. Do not order dessert.
Yeah. Important is like, every event typically has like the big entertainment night. How important is that, do you feel, to the success of an event for you?
It's good to have a big name, but the thing is, you never know how it's going to go over with half the audience if you don't. That's what makes it easy, I think, about having a black event, because I mean, our culture just brings us together. But I mean, I remember I used to go to those IBM events, and they would have these bands, and I'm just like, dude, I am not going to see that. I'm just not going. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to pick and choose to get somebody that's going to go over well for multiple cultures. It's hard.
Yeah. No,
It's very hard. But I think it does have the ability to sell some tickets to a specific audience. So
yeah, I don't know. I just feel like events are at a kind of a pivotal moment, because we had this 4-year period where really you couldn't do them at scale, particularly. Now everything is pretty much back. And it, I just get the feel, I'm like, the events that I've gone to, generally speaking, not all, but just generally speaking, it does feel a bit of like a time warp. Like, okay, we're just falling right back into what we did before.
And you're thinking, hey, that's like 4 years ago.
It's kind of, sometimes you forget it is 4 years ago.
Right. That's true.
And
that's true.
So much has happened in the 4 years in terms of how we take in information. Go ahead.
No, and I'm thinking the audience changed.
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at it as an audience member. I mean, of course, sometimes there's engagements involved, but
we're the seniors in the audience now.
Of course, yeah.
But we weren't before. I was not before. I mean, 5 years is a big difference. About 5 years, you get this new thing, and now I see these people that we used to be, let's say, 16, 17 years old. Now, 4 years later, they're 20, 21, 22, and they're in the audience now, and they're in the mix. And I'm seeing this. It's different. It's just different.
Well, not the conference I go to. There ain't no 16 or 20-year-olds.
No. I'm saying at the time in 2019, they were 16, 17. Now here we are, 2023. They are old enough to be in the workforce, and I'm starting to see those guys moving in, or I'm seeing millennials, which we used to make fun of, kind of like, because you're 30 years old. Well, shit, they're like 35 and 40 now. So it's a whole nother, it's weird. It's just little things, and it happened like overnight because we had that break.
Well, look at what Thomas says. Falling back to the patterns of before C is bad style. Apparently nothing got learned. And I don't, is it that, or is it, and we've done events before and they are hard to do, man. There's so much
effort. Is this why we don't do events anymore?
I ain't why I do it. I just can't. It's hard. So when you haven't done it, and we're talking about events upwards of, some of these events go 100,000 folks. So these are no small undertakings. Is it that they haven't learned, or is it just the first time out you just want to get it without any big hitches. So you fall back on what you know
Yeah.
because of that, or is it, as Thomas said, it's because we just haven't learned anything? I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt. If you haven't done a major event and you were used to doing them, and you haven't done one in 4 years, and now you have to pull it off again, and
Rethink it.
like you said, and a lot of there's certain conference I know I went to where the person who organized it in 2019 is no longer at that company, so you don't even have that to fall back on.
And you didn't really care for it, did you?
Well, no, there was a big difference. You kind of liked it,
Hmm.
and then 4 years later that person is gone, and you can feel that person was gone. So it's like even the good things that should be carried over were missing. The bad things that should not have been carried over were there. So it's like you get the worst of both worlds. But I'm thinking and I'm hoping in the 6 months of the second half of this year, we will see some positive growth. We will see there are so many things that should be incorporated into these conferences that
Okay.
were learned.
All right.
from
So why don't you give me a little rundown of some of the things you think should be added in as elements to shows now?
Well, all right.
What have you seen that's worked?
I'll give you a perfect example. Sorry, I'll put that comment up because I didn't give it enough time, get enough airtime. The agenda before COVID, I would go to a conference and the keynote speeches were long and
Yes.
we're kind of rambling, but
yes,
it's a weird combination of rambling but scripted. I don't know how you pulled that off, but they were scripted and they were long, and and you felt like you were a captive audience. It's like, oh my God, will you please finish? But during the pandemic, what they found out they needed to do as they went virtual with these events, keynotes had to be shorter, quicker, efficient, entertaining, fast moving. So instead of having one big 30-minute block of somebody sitting up on Mount Sinai or whatever talking, they were like 5-minute quick hits and quick transitions and 12 minutes, 2 minutes. They were
You've had 2-minute speeches?
Well, they were fast pieces. So instead of having
elements
one big half pie, that half pie was sliced and diced and
right.
minute here, 5 minutes here. So it felt like you were watching a TV show because you were virtual and you were watching like you were watching a TV show.
TV, you mean TikTok?
Whatever. TikTok is, that's one of those things that TikTok has embedded into us.
Yes.
You need to be quick, fast, in a hurry. Because Flavor's vision ain't blurry. Here, how about that, Jacinto? All right. So you come back 2023, going to live conferences. First one I went to, I'm not going to say what it was. First one I went to, CEO just gets up and starts talking for like 45 minutes. I was like, what? Did we not learn something from the 4 years? Went right back to it. And that's what I mean. Just because we're back face to face doesn't mean you shouldn't incorporate, integrate the stuff that kept people watching. The other part of this was, we also felt like we were part of the show. There was engagement. There was real-time engagement with these virtual events. You can't take that away from us.
There was something that was going on back in the day that I don't see as much anymore. Which, remember back, when Twitter was hot, you'd get on stage and you could do a Twitter poll and then post the results. I don't see that as much as I used to. I don't know if that would be fun, but I used to like that interaction. Like you said, it's just get people interactive in real time.
people do not want to go back to the times of the monolithic 30-minute sermons on the
Oh my
Mount,
God.
45-minute
Oh my
sermons on the
God.
Mount.
Do you remember? You have to remember this. That time when what's his name? Yes, Brogan was on stage and he decided to put the back channel up on the
Oh,
screen.
yeah, that got brutal though. That got brutal. I remember that very. I don't think he ever did that again.
Oh my God, that was hilarious. I'm like, dude, why are you doing that? That's not good.
Yeah, that kind of backfired on him. That was rough.
That was rough. They were saying all kind of stuff just to get reactions. Suddenly, they're not even listening to him. Everybody's reading the tweets in the background.
Yeah, it got
It was
brutal real quick.
hilarious.
Yeah. Thomas, you're right. The CEO may be on stage for a prolonged time, but the talk can be segmented. That's what I was talking about.
Yes.
You take that 30-minute, 45-minute block and you
Yes.
slice that sucker up, dice it, throw some
Yeah.
video clips in there, bring short interviews from people. I mean, there's certain what you can't just be monolithic anymore.
Not anymore.
We can't do that.
We
You
just
gotta
don't have the
you gotta
attention
think
span.
about what all of our brains have been changed. Let's face it, when we were sitting at home in our caves, we weren't just watching one event virtually all the time. We were watching like 4 or 5. At least I was.
Yeah.
So whatever caught my attention, I would gravitate towards.
Plus the kids.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff going
all
on.
sorts of stuff.
That hasn't gone away. That our minds have been are totally completely
That's
changed.
Good point.
And so you can't try to force us back into 40 years ago, our founding father. We're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking.
And that's the difference, I think, with this kind of conference here is that they are really coming to learn how to do things in their business versus just hear, somebody talk about this is our new thing of a job, So anyway.
Yes,
He's
Thomas,
watching
thanks
us.
for watching us from your cave.
All right. Way to go, brother. Way to go.
I don't know. So that's why, I don't know if I was getting a bit frustrated because, the last month or so I've been on the road constantly at events. Some of them are really good. I mean, and I had to thank some of them for having me and Paul do our thing there. Not to say that that's the reason they were good. I'm just saying that was kind of cool to be able to.
I'm sure that has some.
But we do things very unscripted and we do things very, off the cuff. And sometimes that does not fit in with the traditional, event format. So even giving us an opportunity to do that was cool. I just want, I hope that as let's say Labor Day, because for the most part, things are dead now. We're getting into the dog days, July and August, not a whole lot of events going on. But after Labor Day, I mean, I just booked flights for London, a couple coming up to Vegas, San Francisco. Lots.
When are you going to San Fran? Not in September.
A couple times. September, probably October, something like that. But anyway, I sincerely hope that these companies, these vendors, take into consideration all the 4 years between their live events, if it's been 4 years, that you can't just do the was it Bobby Ewing wake up after a whole season and it never happened. This happened and it's changed us all.
You did not say Bobby.
I did. Bobby Ewing. For those who are too young, just look it
up. Wow.
Ask ChatGPT, whatever. But you can't
80s reference.
You can't treat us like Bobby Ewing. We know this stuff.
80s reference, bro.
We know that DJ Cento knows it. If he's still there, he knows. You can't treat us like that. You can't do it. You gotta recognize that we've changed.
Evidently, you haven't, Bobby.
We have changed, and we can't go back. It's not that we don't want to go. We can't go back.
No, we can't. Like you said, our brain has changed, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. We've been reformatted. We've been rewired. We are a better
And
faster, stronger.
Now you going to the 70s, so
Now I am going to the
you're
70s.
going to the 70s.
I am.
And our minds have been melded.
That's crazy.
My camera just died on me.
Oh, you're beautiful. Blah, blah, blah. I
You
got
know-
such a blah, blah, blah. Look at me though. Look at me though, guys.
You know
I'm
why
here.
I died?
He is a black box. But I'm
Nah,
here.
I'll bring up my other camera. Let me go to
Always talking about his great technology.
Well, you know what happened?
What happened?
I forgot
happened?
I forgot the
You didn't.
my new
I did
camera.
that.
My new camera
The battery died.
has a USB-C port.
Uh-huh.
But if you're using you can connect that and you can do a hard drive fast recording. But if you don't change the setting back that this is not the SSD, it's just the power, it doesn't switch back. So you literally have to go in and change it. And I forgot to do that. So now you can see like this other view, which is fine.
Yeah, the other.
It's more aligned. It's still better than your view, but it's at least
it is not.
At least the contrast isn't so stark and dramatic. So there it is. At least I'm not a fan of JR. I love JR. Are you kidding me? JR is my favorite Ewing, by the way.
Really?
Well, there were some really good looking women Ewings on that show. Anyway.
I'm just letting you dig. Just dig, bro. Dig.
Look, there's some fine Ewing women. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Of course, they're all probably about 80 now, but that's okay.
And they are pretty old at this point.
But
so are you, so
yeah,
it works out.
Well, you were here before I was, so
yes, barely.
All right. So anyway, big holiday plans.
Not really. I got my niece coming over. We're gonna have that. I'm gonna try to find somewhere to see some fireworks, things like that. But not too big. I might cook out or something. We'll see.
All right. Okay.
We'll see.
Are you traveling next Friday, or will you?
No. I'll be in town.
All right.
I'll be in town. So we'll be here, guys. Definitely check us out next week.
And have a happy holiday. Hopefully
you do the same. You do the same. You can't take that out, bro. That was your audio. Yeah. Or unaudio this one.
Nah, that this gives
audio.
you the great sound. See.
Yeah.
I had the great sound to go along with the great image.
Well, you can't take that out. But that's okay. We only got 2 minutes left. So say your goodbyes.
Why am I supposed to do what you say?
Because I am directing now because your camera's gone. Our actual director is a black screen over here.
I'm still here. I'm still standing. Oh God. All right.
Oh boy.
All right. So we'll be back next week. I'm sure we'll find something to talk about.
Yes, I got something.
Oh, okay. He's got what you want to tease it?
AI. We're going to talk about AI.
Oh, God. That ain't no damn tease. Everybody's talking about AI.
I'm just teasing.
Yeah.
I'm just teasing. But yes, we'll do it. We'll do it.
All right. Well, we hope you enjoy. I hope you get Monday off because what's good is July the 4th on a Tuesday. If you don't get
Monday, don't get off the Monday.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
I remember those days.
You do that. Well, see, Thomas, we're not going to get into a whole big thing, but I will never call July 4th that day. I will call it July 4th. And there are certain reasons why that'll never be known as Independence Day for me. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that.
Wow. Oh, Brent done got a little militant on us.
No, we know. All right, folks. Have a great holiday weekend.
Yes.
And we do this.
Deuces.
Yeah, we'll see y'all
later, guys.